Trailhead Brothers here. Today we're gonna do the Asynchronous Apex. So this batch. So the first module is Asynchronous Processing Basics. So what here they are telling us? They are telling us the benefits of Asynchronous Apex. For example, if you uh, write your code and if you want to process this, so what asynchronous does is you can just give it to the background. It runs the Apex code. It doesn't interrupt the user or stops the user. So this is what the asynchronous Apex is. It runs in its own time, and it doesn't stops any other system. So they are telling us there are four types of asynchronous: the future methods, the one that we use to call APIs. Then we have batch Apex. If we have more than 40-50,000 records, we use this. Then there is a queuable Apex. It is similar to future, but what it does is for example, if there are 5 future methods, I can put them in one row, and one by one it will run. So this is much more feasible. Then we have scheduled Apex job, like we schedule it like it always runs at night time. So we have these. So yeah, then we have governor limits. How how asynchronous processing works. It works. It enqueue the process persistence, then it works on it, and then it dequeue it out of the queue waiting list. This is how it works. Let's do the quiz solution. What is a key benefit of asynchronous processing? This is high governor and execution limits. Which appears to be the best type of user when you want to update all records in your org. Okay, congratulations. Let's move to the next step. Okay, this is the use future method. So future is a type of asynchronous methods. Uh, so like I said, asynchronous is something that runs away from the system. It doesn't disturb the system or stop the systems. It runs in the background. So what the future Apex does is it is an asynchronous method that we use the future method for three purposes. First is callouts to external web services. We use future method to to use as an API services to third parties APIs, and then if we want the operations to run in their own thread or in their own, then we also use the future method. Or if you want to differentiate the DML operations or different objects so that there is no DML error. So this is, but the popular method that we use, the future method, is as an API. So we're going to use this. This is the code, public with sharing class. Then we use this add future. So future methods are always static void, and they can only take ID, not any object or any data type. So this is the identification of a future method. So this is a simple callout method, public with sharing. So whenever you want to use the future method for an API, you add future and also callout is equal to true. This is important, otherwise it will not make a API call. In here we are taking the string, and then we are sending the in here we are taking the string, and then we are sending the messages, and then we are seeing the results. And this is the function without the future method. Its job is to send the messages. That's it. Okay, we can also test the future method. We can also create a test classes for the future method. For to test the future method, first we have to create a fake web API call in the system. We call this HTTP callout mock. So this is what we are doing here. We are creating a fake API call, and in here we are using the fake API call, and based on the fake API call we are creating a test method. In here we set the fake API call with the future method, and then we use the start test. Then we use the future method function. Then we use this test dot stop test. Then here we are getting the logs, and here we are checking if it is equal or not. So start test and stop test are important, and the HPV callout, the mock is also important. So yeah, and in here you can see you have to the first you have to make sure that the feature method that you are using is not triggering other record triggers, otherwise it will cause problems. So okay, so that is it. And annotation must be static void, and things to remember, they cannot take objects, and then also they don't execute in the same order. So it depends, if the resource becomes available, only then the future methods run, because it is asynchronous. It runs in the background in their own time. Okay. Okay, you cannot call two future methods. And yeah, so this is, we can also not use this function get content as PDF in the future methods. We have a limitation of 50 future calls per apex, and the, on the number of calls in a 24-hour period. You can see the limits later. Let's go ahead and do our hands-on challenge. Okay, create an Apex class that uses the feature annotation to update account records. That accepts a list of account IDs to update account records. Okay, create an Apex class with the feature method that accepts a list of account and updates a custom field on the account object with the number of contacts associated to the account. Right? Unit test that achieve 100% code. Every hands-on challenge in this module asks you to create a test class. Okay, with the number of contacts associated to the account. Okay, so we have to mention the number of contacts. So let's go ahead and write this in the developer console. Let's launch our Trailhead. Create a field on the account object. Okay, we have to create a field on the account object. Number, this field will hold the total number of contacts for the account. Let's go ahead. Okay, after opening your account, we will come here. Let's go to settings on the top right, then click setup. It will open a new tab. Don't worry about it. We have to create a new field number on the account object. So let's go ahead. Okay, after coming here, let's go to the object manager. Going to the account. Let's go to field and relationships, and then we have to go to the new. After going to the new, let's select the number, this one. Let's go next. Then the name will be number of contacts. Leave it as it is. Let's go to next. Read only everything, just like this. Let's go next. Save. Just save it. Okay, there we go. We have created. Let's also open the on the top right the developer console. A new tab will open up. Don't worry about it. Okay, let me. Okay, we have created the field. Now we have to create the Apex class. Let me open up here account processor. Let me copy the name. Files, new Apex class. Let's type the name. Okay. Okay, the method must accept a list of IDs. The method must use the feature annotation. The method counts as the number of records associated with each account. Pass the method updates the number of count field. Okay, so let's. Okay, so we are creating feature method count contacts, mapping the account number with the ID and integer and list. List select ID from account. Okay. Return dot put error ID size, populate the map, and then getting a list of accounts that we're gonna use for ID. If ID dot contains key ID account ID, if dot contains key new account account ID dot. Okay, we are adding the account and then we are updating the account list. Okay, account dot get account ID. Okay, this is what we are doing. Taking the account ID and adding the account ID. Okay, here we have created a test, getting a new account, contact, and another contact. Okay, then creating list account start test. New run. As you can see, account processor 100%. So this is the test account class. We create new account, then we create two new contacts, link it to account, and we are giving the list of the account and running the function here. Okay, there we go, and this is a function. First of all, mapping, we have a map dictionary, we have a list of the account IDs, we have dictionary. In here we get the list of the accounts. In here we are putting the list of the accounts. In here we are getting the value for each accounts and their contact size. A.id contacts dot size. Then we are initiating our empty list. Then for each account, for the from the given list, iterating the given list from the list that we got from the SQL, and then creating a new account object and putting the account ID of the ID, saving the account, and then saving the number of contacts, account dot put dot get account ID. So we are getting the map of the account ID and it is saving this value in this. Okay, so it is key and this is the value, saving it here, then we are adding in the list and then we are updating the list. Okay, let's verify. Congratulations. Let's go to the next step. Yeah.